Don't cut corners to cut corners. Don't cut corners to make it cheaper. Making a Frankenstein type of invention can be risky for a few reasons. Make sure you have a team that you can rely on to help you make those decisions and make them knowing how they will affect your business. We've had customers come to us with a list of components that they've found and priced off Alibaba. They've told us, here's what it should cost, please make it. I'm not sure what world they're living in, but it's certainly not reality. In this video, we're gonna go over the pros and cons of using off-the-shelf parts in your product and give a few examples of when it's necessary and what you should avoid. Sometimes clients will want to save money by using components that are already available off the shelf for their final product. Making a Frankenstein type of invention can be risky for a few reasons. In certain situations, though, it does make sense. All right, so first a list of the cons. When you're getting something off the shelf, you have to hope it's in stock, right? If it's not in stock and you're trying to scale, well, it's completely out of your control. You can't just make more. You have to hope that there's stuff ready for you to use. Second, quality control. So I believe, and we believe as a company, that quality control starts from design. Quality control starts at every individual component. You don't just make a product all at once. You make the individual components separately and then bring them together in assembly. When you're getting something off the shelf, you don't have that quality control that you need. You can't start from zero when you're buying stuff off the shelf. You have to hope that the products that's off the shelf are going to live up to the quality control that you expect for the entire product. That's not something I like to lean on. Thirdly, and to me, arguably the most important, is when you use off-the-shelf components to build an entire product, anyone can make it. Where's your IP protection? How are you protecting your idea, your product, and your business from the copycats that will inevitably follow your success? You're not. You're basically allowing them to make the exact same product immediately as soon as they want. Now, on the flip side, the pros of using off-the-shelf components, to start, maybe you don't need IP protection right at the beginning. Maybe you're just doing a proof of concept. You're seeing if people are interested in your idea, in your product, and you want to get something out quick. If that's the case, IP probably isn't that important until further on down the road. Along with that speed comes price. Obviously, when you're not designing, engineering, making the tooling and molding for customized components, you're saving a ton of money. On molds and toolings alone, if you have a product that has 10 plastic pieces, you could be saving, almost 100 grand. So there are a lot of benefits and cost savings that go along with that as well. Secondly, sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? Why would you design and re-engineer and manufacture a bolt or a screw or a nut that has been made the same way for decades? In some cases, you not only should, but you basically have to. Redesigning a screw at a set diameter is pointless, right? You're just wasting money at that point. Third, by using off-the-shelf inventory, while you are dependent on your supplier to store inventory, you're probably not stuck with that supplier. Right? This also means it would be easier for you to pick up and move your manufacturing operations for that component to another readily available supplier of that component. And then finally, and I think this is the most important, and really what Morpho has built our business on, is if you're just building products using off-the-shelf pieces, off-the-shelf components, and bringing it together to create some sort of Frankenstein product. Consumers aren't stupid, right? They can tell when there isn't going to be much of a difference between you and your competitors. This can come across as greedy or a money grab, right? What about your product is setting you apart? If you're using all off-the-shelf components, probably nothing is the answer. Many products have components which make sense to source directly from the factories. Whoever you're partnered with for manufacturing needs to give you their recommendations based on their experience, based on the experience of the engineers. However, a lot of that will fall on you as the client to decide what kind of business you're trying to build. Maybe what sets your business apart from other businesses isn't the details or the intricate parts of the actual product, but it's that you have a new creative business model, or that you have a different angle for marketing and sales. There's a lot of things outside of the product in a product-based business that can set you apart from your competition. So in closing, I would say ultimately the most important thing is to build a competent team, to know when it's beneficial to cut corners and use pieces off the shelf that make perfect sense for you to use. And the opposite is true too. Don't cut corners to cut corners. Don't cut corners to make it cheaper. In my opinion, that should never be your goal. But there will be times when it makes sense to use off-the-shelf components. Make sure you have a team that you can rely on to help you make those decisions and make them knowing how they will affect your business. Hopefully that helps. Off-the-shelf stuff can be tricky, but there is definitely times when you should use it, and there are definitely times when you shouldn't. Good luck. Peace.